All right, let's get off the puke and on to the games. You like games? I like games. NBA title contender. You know how this works. Swipe left if you have no interest, like Tinder. Swipe right if you think this team is a title contender for next year. Let's start with Cleveland. They had the best record in the NBA. They got Spider Mitchell, and then they didn't get too far in the NBA playoffs. Their odds right now are 8-1 to win the title next year at BetMGM. Are you a believer?
Yeah, I'm a believer. I mean, I think Evan Mobley taking that step forward in his shooting ability, and at least being serviceable when it comes to shooting from, mid-range or even from the three-point arc, I think that completely opened up what this offense can be. Now you can really have Allen and him out there at the same time. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell, I think, while he took a step back point scoring-wise, his efficiency really jumped up. Darius Garland can shoot the lights out. I just think that they ran into kind of a little bit of a team of destiny when it came to the Indiana Pacers. And they also got hurt. Like at the worst moments, at the worst time, you had a couple different guys, including Garland, go down and at minimum be banged up, at maximum miss multiple games, right? And so sometimes it's just about the timing, and I'm okay that Cleveland didn't make any big rash decisions like New York. They didn't fire their coach. They didn't go and make a big trade or go sign a big free agent or, let a couple different people walk so they could make a big move later on. They just said, hey, we have a good team, and we got a little bit unlucky. Like if the Cleveland Cavaliers next year were in the Eastern Conference Finals and they were up and one game away from being in the NBA championship, I wouldn't be shocked by that. So yeah, 100%. I think they are a title contender. I like how this team is built, and I think that they can take that next step forward into at least getting into the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone the possibility of holding up the O'Brien Trophy.
So he's swiping right on the Cavs. I'm swiping left. I think last year was the best we got of them. I think this upcoming season, they finished third or fourth. They take a step back. They're not going to win. They win 68 games, whatever it was a season ago. And I think we saw what they are. And maybe they do what the Pacers did. And all of a sudden we look up and they're in the NBA Finals. But I can list 4 or 5 teams that I'm going to bet my hard-earned money on in the Eastern Conference, including the New York Knicks. Let's talk about them. Their odds are 9-1. 9-1, Knicks fans. Pretty good. Summer just started. Maybe you're still going to add Giannis. You just got a head coach, not the guy you wanted, but you got a head coach. I think anything better than 10-1, I would say, is less than long shot odds. Are you swiping left or right on the Knicks next season? Can they win the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, you're going to hear a lot of Eastern Conference teams of me swiping left on, right? Where I think they could win. I think that the Knicks, they're built, obviously, they got to the Eastern Conference Finals this last year. The year before, they probably would have gotten further if they had stayed healthy, right? I just really like this Knicks team. I'm interested to see what Mike Brown's going to do. Like, is Jaylen Brown going to have the ball in his hands less? You're obviously going to see a lot of that playing time for the starting 5 go down, which I think in the postseason could be a good thing for them, right? They have fresher legs. If they can stay healthy, why not? I think that Eastern Conference is wide open. I don't think that there's a single team that's head and shoulders above everybody. And I would say there's 4 or 5 teams that are all right about even. So if they can stay healthy, they have a player get hot at the right moment, they gel the right way, chemistry works, maybe they make a big trade at the deadline. Maybe, a guy like Damian Lillard, who right now he doesn't have a landing spot. It doesn't seem like he's going to be able to play next year. But who knows? That guy's a workhorse. He's a grinder. Maybe he finds his way onto one of those Eastern Conference teams. Why couldn't the Knicks find their way into the NBA championship game? I don't know that they're good enough to beat anybody from the West, but shoot, with how open that Eastern Conference is, I could definitely see them getting there and being a championship contender for sure.
And I don't think a lot of people really put their money on Indiana taking OKC to 7 games. So you say they couldn't beat anybody in the West. Who knows? Again, it's a playoffs. It's the finals. It's a crapshoot. If the Knicks can get there, that's a problem that I think Knicks fans would love to figure out if it's the Thunder or whoever it is on the other side. If the Knicks were to somehow add Giannis, that's just not a piece that you add. That is a 31-year-old in his prime. I think he had 7 or 10 triple doubles last year. Like, he's getting better at the other stuff while he's also the 3rd leading scorer. And the only thing about Giannis, I think, that's held the Bucks back, well, a couple of things, Doc Rivers and health a little bit and happiness. I think that as long as Giannis is healthy and happy, and he would be if he landed in New York, man, you put him on that team and you're going to give up some pieces, But you add him with
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, that team becomes not just better, Will, they become the favorite to win the NBA championship. Like, I almost hope it happens because the Thunder look like right now, you talk about how good the Western Conference is, they look like a team that is on their way to winning back-to-back, 3 of 5. I know we've said that before, but the difference is they're young, they're happy, talking about the Thunder, and they've already got this title in hand. So it feels like the Knicks or somebody has to shake things up. If not, it's probably going to be OKC again.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think the other thing with the Thunder is, as well as they played in the postseason, look at their shooting percentages. Look at their rebounds. They're in the bottom third of playoff teams in playoff rebounds and shooting from beyond the arc. And it's not like it was a great 3-point shooting team during the year, but they weren't a bad one either. I think that Chet offensively is only going to continue to grow as long as he stays healthy and
Absolutely.
gets time out there. Jalen Williams, like, he's having this surgery on his wrist that no
Scottie
one knew
Pippen.
about. Right, he played like the entire year with it basically after the All-Star break. And so you got to assume that his shooting percentage is going to go up, and that's a guy who scored 40 points in the NBA Finals. So I think that the Thunder are only going to continue to grow, and there's a reason why they are the favorite, and they should be the favorite, especially while they have all these younger players on such team-friendly deals.
Right now at BetMGM, the Thunder are plus 275 to repeat. Let's stay out west. The Nuggets are 7-1, and we kind of were saying a couple of years ago that maybe they were going to become a dynasty because they still have Jokic, and they're still, I guess, relatively young, getting older right in front of our eyes. You swiping left to right. Are they a real NBA championship contender next year, the Denver Nuggets?
The Thunder are plus 275 to win the title. They just won a title, and this Nuggets team took them all the way to game 7. And this was a hurt Nuggets team. Now, they got blown out in that game 7, but they were a beat up team, right? Aaron Gordon was on one leg. He could barely move. Jamal Murray has been kind of a shell of himself basically ever since they won that title. Michael Porter Jr. only had one arm that worked, and now they traded him away for a younger, almost better version of him. Christian Braun has turned into someone who is actually a really good sixth man on most teams, and they're using him exceptionally well. Bruce Brown, who was on that championship team, now he's coming back, and he can give Gordon more time off. He's going to be the exact same thing as Gordon. From a bench perspective, he's going to be a rim runner. He plays great defense. He can shoot the 3 ball. And then you have the best player in basketball right now, a guy that was asked to do more with the ball in his hand and only got more efficient. Like, congratulations to SGA on his MVP. There's a lot of people that think Jokic should have won that MVP, and I would honestly agree with them, right? So I'm never going to vote against the Nuggets when it comes to could they be a title contender. Yes, as long as Nikola Jokic is at the peak of his powers, this is a title contending team. And I think they got better after last year. And last year, they took this Thunder team all the way to the brink.
Christian Brown's my guy. Not only do we go to the same college at KU, we also went to the same high school, Blue Valley Northwest High School in Overland Park, Kansas. What? That's Will. I'm the sports machine. We got a couple of minutes left talking some hoops here, and then we'll switch it back over to the NFL in the next hour. How about the Lakers, bro? Are they a real championship contender next year? 15-1 right now to win the whole thing at BetMGM.
Unfortunately, they're not. Like, I'm not a Laker guy. I am on the West Coast, but I don't follow front runners. But I will say this, like, the team just doesn't make sense build-wise. They're going to be a good team. They'll make the postseason. They'll win a lot of games. They're going to get talked about all the time on shows just like this. But I don't think that they are a true blue championship team. They still don't really have a rim defending big. Ayton's great offensively. Defense, he leaves a lot to be desired, right? How far of a step back does LeBron take? Because he's going to take a step back. So, yes, Luka kind of alleviates some of that pressure, but is Luka going to be able to stay healthy? He came back last season and he didn't seem like he was in the best shape of all time. And he's clearly someone who doesn't really care. He's not going to be a workout warrior. So he doesn't care about what his physical appearance is or is going to be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's out there eating kale now in the offseason, but I don't think so. So when I look at this Lakers team, yeah, they're going to be in the conversation. They'll make the playoffs, but they're not a real championship contender.
Kale with a little bit of dip. Like, if you get there, no, it's terrible. You're right. I love how much you hate guys when they don't work out for your teams. It's just unbelievable. I think DeAndre Ayton's going to be a good fit in LA. We haven't even talked Kevin Durant in Houston.